Are you watching Emily in Paris?
Yes.
Have you watched like all the seasons?
I've watched all the seasons and I'm currently on the last episode. Why?
Oh my god, so you've already like binged this latest season.
Yeah. Like
Oh
I'm on
my
the
god.
last current episode.
Oh my god. I'm going to do it this weekend. I've watched like all the seasons of Emily in Paris so far, and I'm like so excited for another season. I'm so excited to get lost in the whole storyline. And like it's so cheesy, but I love it.
It's so cheesy, but it's so good. And it's very predictable and it's very repetitive and it's very unrealistic, but it is so good.
I know, I know. There was this Bravo. They tried to make like a reality show version of Emily in Paris, and it was called like the Real Girlfriends of Paris or something like that, along the lines of that. And it was like a fun show, but they canceled it after one season because it was probably just like me and two other people watching it. But I was obsessed with it. Like just like it's kind of like Sex in the City, but Paris.
I love Paris. You know, they did this thing to show how unrealistic her wardrobe is. And they were calculating how much she makes versus how much she spends on like her lifestyle and her clothes. And so it was like her total between her advertising job as well as her social media job was like 70 or 80,000 or something. And then they did a calculation on her wardrobe and her wardrobe alone was like 100 grand or something. Like it was over $100,000. So they were like, she's broke. She's broke.
Or there's like a secret like sugar daddy.
she okay, Emily in Paris has to have a zaddy. Like there needs to be someone there, unless it's like her boss. I forget the boss's name. I love her. I think she's fantastic. Maybe she or her husband is like sending Emily some money because I don't know how she can fund this wardrobe.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know the guy, like the that's like the her boss's like ex husband who's always around or whatever. He is totally like on the down low. I love how we've created our own like storyline. Where like
We could take this in a whole other direction, honestly.
Emily in Paris after dark.
Emily in Paris.
Patty, she's secretly like an
Paris.
OnlyFans star.
Well, like, there's got to be something on the side because they've literally tallied up her income and the finances aren't adding up. Literally.
Yeah. That's like every TV show though. Like think of Sex and the City. Carrie Bradshaw. She writes one article for the weekly paper, one article, and she affords this like nice apartment in Manhattan, and like has all this designer clothing and all this like luxurious lifestyle. Or like in Friends, the apartments they live in and like seemingly never work. Like it's always like that.
Well, Rachel's apartment was her aunt's apartment that I think was like given to her or something. But when I watched, what was the spinoff they did of Sex and the City?
And just like that.
Yes. They actually got a lot of flack because they said that their wardrobes and their lifestyles were so unattainable compared to the average woman. So they were like the fashion that they're wearing, the lifestyle that they're leading, all the things that they're doing. They said that they needed to make it a little bit more relatable because the everyday woman just can't relate to them. But I was like, the fashion's like why a lot of the people watch. Like when I watch Emily in Paris, I'm interested in to see her outfits and to see what she's going to wear because that to me is like part of the whole show.
Exactly. Like that's the thing is that like I don't want it to be realistic. Like I want to live in the fantasy. It's about the fantasy of it all and the fashion. Like I just can't stop with this.
Yes.
Like it's not relatable. She's not an everyday woman. Like I don't care. I want them to be extra as fuck. Like just like over the top.
Yes. Have you seen Good Girls Guide to Murder?
A Good Girl's Guide to Murder? No.
Okay, so it's on Netflix and it's like kind of like a teenage drama. Okay, I love teenage dramas, but it's a murder show with teenagers. And let me tell you, like, I was watching it just because I was like, I need something to watch. I like to watch things at night in bed, whatever. And I'm laying in bed and I'm watching it, and I was like, okay, I think I know where this is going. This went in a completely different, creepy direction. I had no clue this was coming. Like, this one part of it, like, the dad's involved. It just got so weird. And I was just thinking and sitting there, I was like, who writes this shit? Like, who actually sits here and just, like, can formulate all this stuff? And then I started really thinking, and I was like, wait a second. Like, my mind is out of control sometimes. I could definitely write one of these horror TV shows.
Oh, yeah. I like totally, you could totally write one of these horror shows. I know from at least my imagination alone, she's on it.
Right? Like, I could come up with so many things just even based off of my own life and then add a twist to it. Like, there's so many things that I'm like, why am I not channeling this?
Exactly. Start your writing. Like, but like, that's the thing is like, I have a really creative imagination for how I'm going to get murdered. You know what I mean? Like, every day, every room I walk into is like, the murderer is coming. The killer is lurking. They're coming. I'm always thinking of like scenarios in my head so that I can like survive those scenarios.
There was somebody that creeped me out that I knew. And then, do you remember it was like a few weeks ago, we went to go record the podcast. Remember I came on and I told you that I was creeped out because I saw this thing about, I forget what they call them, but people living in your attic and they're in your house all day and they hide in your house and they're just living in your house and you have no clue. And I saw somebody in public and they creeped me out, and I went home, and every time I was opening up a closet door or like any door to a room, I was just picturing that creepy person just like standing in the room. Like, I was straight up just like scaring myself because that's a real thing. It's a real thing. These people, and they love the challenge and the thrill of it, where they'll live in like your attic or they'll stay hiding in like a closet in your room. And then when you leave, they'll go around and they'll like change things or they'll make themselves something to eat. And it came up because this woman, she kept saying, she's like, I just cleaned the house. She was like, I just cleaned my house. And then I came back and there was like stuff all over her floor. And she thought she was going crazy. And she set up a secret camera, and she caught people living in her house and coming out while she wasn't home.
Oh my God. Can you imagine just like checking your cameras and seeing that happening? Like, that is my worst fear. I run around the house. I check closets. I check all that shit like that. Like, when my roommate's out of town, I'm convinced someone's living in his bedroom. I always do the shit.
It's scary.
It is really scary. And, you know, I have a client. So this client that I've had for a long time, they're just like super mega wealthy. And they have this huge like mansion. And they don't live there full time. You know what I mean? They stay there in the summer. They come in for Christmas. And one of the daughters lives in the house. And it's just, you know, it's massive. And it turns out they caught on camera somebody was living in the house. And the one girl just happened to be there, the one daughter, and she was in the house, and she's like looking on the camera, and she sees somebody like there, and they had fully like were like sleeping in one of the rooms. They had been like lounging out by the pool. They had been like living their life in this mansion, and like
it's a thing.
It really is, yeah.
It's an actual thing.
When the police came, like, they literally had like a bag, like they had like luggage, they had things, you know what I mean? They didn't just pop in for the day.
I know, it's so scary. You know what else is scary? Do you know, we went camping, and well, okay, I don't want to say camping. We went to a cottage, and we stayed at like this beautiful cottage, and we go there, and I don't know, I made the boys go around and check everything, and they were so excited to like pick their rooms, and we're having a good time. And both of my dogs almost died this weekend at the cottage. literally. So like actually. So we had them in their life jackets and we put them in the water, and they wanted nothing to do with it because it was freezing cold. So I wasn't in the water. If I was in the water, then they would have went in. So anyways, Michael had to run out quickly for something, and Charlie followed him out, and Charlie's like always just like right by Michael's side or my side. He doesn't really take off anymore, whatever. And, you know, every time that we were having them out, we always had them either in their life jacket or on their harness, but Michael was just running out for something quick. And of course, doesn't Charlie decide just to jump in the lake?
Oh my God.
Jumps in the lake. So at this time, I'm in the washroom. Okay. I'm in the washroom and I hear all the commotion. So I'm trying to like finish up in the washroom, and Michael had to jump in with all of his clothes on to get Charlie out. He said that he just like jumped in and then he was swimming a little bit and then he started sinking. So he had to like go in, do the whole thing. So we're like, oh my God, okay, thank God, whatever, dog safe. Okay. The trauma's over until not even 2 hours later, Toby chokes on this new toy we got him. Chokes so bad to the point that I actually think he's dying. I start telling the boys because I'm like, the boys are right there watching this. We're trying to do everything to like get him to be okay. And it was sad because he choked and made a noise. And then I thought he was fine. And then he turned to me and looked at me and put his paw on me. And I thought he was just scared because he was just like coughing up. But then I realized like, oh my God, I was like, Michael, he's still choking. So we're doing all this stuff. The boys are there. They're freaking out. So I'm thinking of them. I'm like, go outside. I don't want them to watch because I thought he was going to die. Like it was so scary. And then all of a sudden he just coughed and just started like jumping around. Like nothing happened. That was like the scariest thing. Like choking like that is terrifying.
Your dogs are the most accident prone like things I have ever seen. Like it is like every time I talk to you, it's like one of them is dying somehow or another.
Something's happening. They are so messed up. So messed up. But they're the sweetest little guys and I love them.
Thank you.
I know.
I love how you like even when you like talk about them, you have to talk in the dog voice.
I know their little baby voices. I just love them.
So what is like? I don't think that the American viewers don't understand the like cottage world that you guys have. Like, what is this like whole culture around like the cottage staying?
Okay, so where I am, I'm going to say like 3 different types of camping, quote, camping, cottage experiences. Okay, so the one is your traditional, you have a tent, you go to like, you know, out in the wilderness, or you go to a park somewhere, and, like a camping park, and you set up your tent and you do whatever. Okay. Then there's the cottage life, which is what I love the most. So it's normally a little up north. It's very private. Most of the time it's on a lake. You have like your own dock. It's basically just like an older style house. And you're nature, darling. You're just in nature. And you know, you go up there every weekend in the summer. So usually cottage season is from like May to the end of October. And then there's the family parks, okay? So this is when there's that gray area when we say that we're going to a trailer park. So the camp... There's no like real way to say it, but it's like an RV park. So a lot of people will have like these RVs or these types of trailers now that are like mini homes, like beautiful homes, and they're all in like a resort style park, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I was telling Kyle that I was going to someone's trailer, and she was making fun of me because she's like, oh my God, you do like trailer park. And I'm like, no, it's not like a trailer park. It's not like Trailer Park Boys. It's like a camping resort, but there's trailers.
Yeah, see, she kept saying, like, she's like, oh, we're going to the trailer park for the weekend, or, oh, I got lit at the trailer park over the weekend. And I'm like, girl, what are you doing? Like, I'm picturing full Trailer Park Boys. I'm picturing some of the trailer parks from where I reign from. And I'm like, so that's what you do for fun, is you go just, like, hang out in the trailer park? Like, I didn't know it was, like, an RV park. And like, several weekends had gone by where she was telling me this, and I was like, oh,
she's like, oh, like, Kris, like, I didn't know, like, finally. And I was like, no. It's like the one my aunt has is at, like, this, like, beautiful, like, gorgeous campground. And it's like like, there's like a golfing thing. There's mini putt. There's, like, a huge water park for kids. And, like, you know, like, her I guess trailer, which is like a huge RV, stays there, and you have like a deck and a campsite and stuff.
Yeah.
Right? And then my one girlfriend, she just got a new one this year, and like, again, hers is on a golf course, like on the lake, like beautiful, and hers is like a mini trailer house. So it's like a fully like modern home almost.
Okay. That
yeah.
makes sense.
So
I think like here in LA, like we go out to like Joshua Tree or Palm Springs or up into the mountains, like Big Bear, like Arrowhead, maybe the Santa Barbara, Laguna. But back to what we were saying about being creeped out or whatever, whenever I stay in Joshua Tree, and it's crazy because like one of my best friends loves Joshua Tree, loves to go there. But every time I stay the night there, I get so creeped out because I always feel like something's like trying to peer into the window. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like they're, like, literally trying to, like, Hills Have Eyes. Like, the movie Hills Have Eyes, like, something sketch like that. And I say being because I don't even think it's, like, a weird human. I think it's, like, a weird being that lives in the desert. I don't know. This sounds crazy, but I'm telling you, there's something creeps me out because I always feel like it's, like, trying to look in the window and, like, get me or something. And, yeah. So I like to stay in the confines of a house.
Do you think this is just because you have an obsession with ghosts and you're like out in the wilderness, and so you're like, oh my God, there's got to be one out here?
No, I don't. I think like, because if I stay in Palm Springs or say anywhere else, I don't have a problem with it. And like, I don't know, maybe it is that, but I grew up in the country. You know what I mean? Like, I grew up like in a foresty type area, so like I was fine. But I don't know. I used to love camping, but now I think I freaked myself out too much.
It's definitely like when Michael and I went at the beginning of summer and we stayed in a cabin at like a family park or whatever. It was definitely, there were some moments where I was like creeped out at night. And it's not even that. It's just like the people around too. I mean, like, I guess because like we're not out in the middle of nowhere. I was more kind of creeped out by the people. But you're probably picking up on an energy. I feel like you are definitely like, I feel like there probably is something watching you and you're picking up on it.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what's happening. And it seems to be kind of like that area. But, I mean, I don't know.
Who knows?
But, yeah, who knows what's going on.
You know what I'm doing tonight?
What?
I'm going to a concert. So it's called like Not Your Best Friends or Your Best Friends something concert. And it's a whole bunch of bands, like alternative bands from when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
And so this sounded like a great idea because our chef, like our main like executive chef, he's around my age, and he was like, so excited about this. And so Michael and I were like, okay, you know what? Like, let's just get tickets and the three of us will go and whatever. And it sounded like such a fun idea. But then now tonight I have to go and I'm like, oh my God, like, do I really want to go to this thing? I'm going to be around, like, it's either going to be like really young people that like have an obsession with like old school bands, or it's just going to be a whole bunch of millennials just like trying to party like we used to.
Oh, I know that feeling when the day comes and you're like, oh God, what did I say? Yes. But do you have like your rocker gear? What's your look? What's the look you're pulling?
I was just thinking of doing like jeans, like just like an oversized jean with just like a black shirt, and like black bra straps because my bra's gonna be showing. And then I was thinking maybe just like kind of pinning my hair back like how I would wear it in high school, but I think I'm just gonna leave it down because I'm just like not 100% into it. I was thinking of doing like maybe like darker eye makeup, but I'm also just like, I don't want to put all this makeup on and then just like get hot or have it smudge or, you know, and I'm not going to be drinking at this thing. Like, I don't know. I just feel like I'm a little bit like past the idea of it now. And I'm just like, damn, now I really got to go to this thing.
No, I hate that feeling though. That is like the worst. It hits me hard. That hits me hard. And it's like everything that I do. Especially like if I'm like, oh, I'm going to go like Friday or Saturday night and I like work Friday or Saturday. I'm like, no, I need to be in bed. But
right?
Yeah. But when I go to like a rock situation, I really get into the outfit. Like I got to dress the part. It's like, that's the part that I love about it.
And like, that's normally me. Like when I go to like a big concert where it's like when I saw like Stevie Nicks, I wore like the black skirt. I did like the red, you know, like when I saw Motley Crue, I wore like 80s wash jeans. Like I try to like play around with it too. But like for this one, like I'm just not feeling it. And like Michael and I were like, who are we kidding? Like it's a Friday. So Friday is usually the day that, you know, if the boys are going to their moms, then that's when we take them. And we're like, that's kind of our night just to like be lazy pieces of shit together. And we get sour dinos from Bulk Barn, and which is like a big bulk candy store for all my American listeners. And it's just like one of those things where it's like we just like to be lazy pieces of shit. Like there's nothing more refreshing than being in bed at like 9:30. You know?
Exactly. No, I know that well. I'm not going to sleep at 9:30. I'm going to be wide awake till 3 in the morning. But I do love...
We're cozy in bed.
Cozies. Yeah. Yeah, but you know what? You get out there in that mosh pit, girl. You get out there and mosh and make us proud.
Oh, my God. One of the last times I went into a mosh pit, they pulled me out. And he was like, the bouncer was like, you know, because I was just like this like young, cute thing, like trying to go in with all these like hardcore punk rockers. I was like 18. And he pulled me out and I kept trying to go in and he kept like lifting me out. And I was like looking back, I'm like, thank God this guy was like, what's this dumbass doing in there?
We're going to do like crowd surf.
Oh my God. Imagine my fat ass just like, if I went to go crowd surf, it would be like one of those scenes from a movie where I like fall back and everyone's like, no. Moves. Like I just back plant right on the ground. Like,
oh God, we have to do like a trust fall and like at some situation we're like, do a trust fall and then they fucking drop you. Oh my God, that's scarred for that.
Never. I never ever.
Okay, so like you know how much I love Real Housewives, and they put out the like previews of the trailer for Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, and I like that. I think you've seen it, right?
Yes, that's the one that I like.
There's one thing that I noticed about the trailer, and it's something that I love about the Real Housewife franchises, and it's something that's like a common occurrence, is they have a lot of costume parties. And so the funniest thing about a costume party is when they get into like a serious fight, like a serious argument, and they're yelling and screaming and flipping out, but it's so unserious because they're in this ridiculous costume.
This is so funny. It's like they're just like yelling at each other's face, but they have like a wig and a painted face. Like, how can you take that seriously in the moment?
I know.
I wouldn't be able to argue with someone like that.
It's like part of the job. But no, so in the Salt Lake City trailer, the costume party was everyone dressed up like Lisa Barlow, which is one of the women on the show. And so they all have their long dark wig on. So Lisa, that everyone's dressed as, gets an entirely different fight, I think, with this girl named Whitney, but I'm not for sure. I can't remember who. But she is dressed like her. So Lisa is fighting with a woman who is dressed like Lisa. And and she's like, "You better take my wig off." How ridiculous and unserious. And I'm like, why are we like this? Why are we like this? But I love it.
It's giving, you better keep my wife's name out of your mouth. You better take my wig off. Oh my God. When does the season start?
I can't remember. I think probably like a month. Probably like in a month, I think. And I think Beverly Hills is coming on too. No, not Beverly Hills. New York. New York is coming soon.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh God, I can't wait.
I do like the new cast. I mean, listen, the OG New York cast will always be in my heart. You know, I will always have a place for them in my soul. And I need to stay in touch with Luann. And actually, I heard Dorinda from Real Housewives is getting a spinoff with her house. But the new girls are those girls. You know, they're like a new generation of extraness, and I do like that. The fashion. Talk about the fashions. The fashions.
Yes.
Is giving. For
New
sure.
York, baby. It's New York.
New York. Yes.
Yeah, New York.
Like, that's literally one of my goals, like dreams, is like I want to be on the Real Housewives of New York or something. Can you imagine?
Oh my God, you would be such a ratchet team player. Like, you would keep the show alive. You would be the whole show.
Yes, I totally would be. Like, I'd be like the first trans Real Housewives. I just gotta find a husband first.
Yeah, I mean, like, it can happen though.
Yeah,
Did you like Real Housewives of WeHo?
No, that didn't happen. They tried to do a show like that was like, so what was it called? It was West Hollywood, but it was like the Real Gay Boys of WeHo or something, but it wasn't. Like it was but it was like these wealthier gay men in West Hollywood. Like they all had like rich husbands that did things and they worked in production, whatever. I don't even know. But I think it had one season and they actually cut part of like, it was on the same time as RuPaul's Drag Race, which was like a bad idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everyone hated it. And I was like, okay.
Whatever.
Whatever. So what's going on with your highlights, lowlights? What's been happening?
My highlight this week is, so as part of my birthday present, Michael, now this is for no other reason other than I just love them. Michael got me a pregnancy pillow as part of my birthday present. So like, no, I'm not pregnant. That's not why I have a pregnancy pillow. I'm talking about one of those big, do you know what I'm talking about? It's like those big giant pillows that looks like a big set of legs and you keep it in your bed. And oh my God, I have been getting the best sleep with that. Like, I feel like that's enticing me to go to bed earlier because I know that it's just like this like cozy thing in my bed. I can put it in between my legs. Like Michael said the other day, he came in and because I went to bed before him and he came in to like check on me and like plug my phone in for me, whatever. And he said that he like lifted up the pillow because it was on the floor. I guess it knocked it down. And he said I woke up like a savage and like grabbed it and just like went back to sleep. Like, they are so comfortable. I have been getting the best sleeps. I've been waking up refreshed. And it's a jersey knit material, so it's like cooling. I know. Pregnancy pillows.
I really want a pregnancy pillow, actually. I mean, not that I'm, pregnant. I mean, but obviously. But no, but I love to, I cuddle up. I have a body pillow. And like when you were staying at my house, I'm like, don't get your hands up. My body pillow is mine. I was like, I need that. I like to cuddle up with it, like leg over it, arm over it. Like that's why I don't have a husband.
Well, I mean, like, I have Michael in my bed, but I'm like, dude, like, I don't need you anymore. No, I'm kidding. But like, I can have it mostly just like on my one side because I sleep on my left side a lot. So it's like, oh my God, I highly recommend get a pregnancy pillow. Get a pregnancy pillow. They're the best.
I think we all should. Yeah.
Now, my low light was when I was on TikTok. Okay, I was getting my weekly news update. Yeah. And I saw this person do a throwback to teen magazines.
Oh.
Do you remember those? Like Teen Beat and 17.
Yes.
Did you actually use them though? Because you're a few years younger than me, but
no,
I
didn't.
God. Okay, so no, you don't get it either, and it made me sad. It made me really sad because I was like, nobody in this generation will understand what it was like to have those teen magazines. Like, it was like every month you waited for the new edition, which then that's where you got your horoscope. That's where you got like all your fashion advice, all your dating advice, your new posters, all your celebrity gossip, and you would like hang on to that faithfully, cut pieces out for collages and whatever, and then you would just have to wait until the next one came out. And I was just like, how old am I now? Like, all these people now just have TikTok and Instagram, and they can go on and get everything just like at their fingertips. And I was like, you really don't understand, like, getting all your information from a magazine that you had to wait like once a month. So I felt really old. I kind of felt personally attacked. And then I felt really sad that like this generation just has no idea, including you now.
No, I definitely remember like the teen magazines being huge when I was younger, but like I just wasn't a normal teen. I had we don't need to get into that, but I didn't read them. I didn't have them. There was no access to them. But did you? I know like you were saying Teen Vogue. Did you get Teen Vogue?
Teen Vogue. I think 17 was my favorite.
Yeah, that was everyone's, I feel like.
And like Tiger Beat.
Oh, I remember Tiger Beat.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like 17 is still around, isn't it?
I have no clue.
It's probably
but I
like
don't
digital.
feel like it would be, and I don't feel like it would be like treated the same. Like, I don't feel like it would have like the same effect because it's like everything that's in the magazine, you can just go on TikTok and, Pinterest and Pinterest. What I say, Pinterest, but like
Pinterest.
You know what I mean? Yeah, Pinterest.
It doesn't have the same cultural impact.
No. Thank you for finding those words for me. Oh my God.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Same
digging in the
cultural
thesaurus.
Impact. Yes, damn. What about you? What's your highlight?
Well, okay, highlight is Miss Kyle is going on a little trip to Ohio. She's going to the country, darling.
She's going to the motherland.
She's going to retire to the country, darling. No, I'm going back to Ohio to visit family, and I'm going for an entire week, which is sending me into a little bit of a spiral and panic, but what's done is done, and I'm actually really excited about it, and I want to just kind of like, embrace country Kyle, embrace back home Kyle. She's going to become Aunt of the Year, because I'm literally like the worst aunt ever. Like, I have 7 nieces and nephews and like a 4-year-old brother, and I like never see them. They're like, every time I see a photo, I'm like, oh my God, they've grown like a foot. But
that's okay though. You're trying from a distance, and that's what counts. Like, you're trying.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like I went through a lot in the last couple of years, and I just kind of was like I needed to like lick my wounds and hide out in my, depression dungeon. But she's ready to go back. She's ready to go to Ohio, face the stuff. She's going to, just make an impact.
It's going to be a journey. And we're actually going to try to film an episode while she's there. We're going to attempt. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I think like I need to do a test because I would actually love to do it outside, but the wind or like whatever may be too much. So I don't know. But that will be interesting. I mean, I feel like there'd be like kids running in and out, but
I mean, it would just be a wild episode. We could just really have something different. It would just really switch up. It could just launch the podcast. We don't know.
I know it's just absolute chaos. It's like absolute chaos.
Kyle on the streets of Ohio. Here we are.
I feel like I'm filming a lot of content. Like she's gonna make a lot of TikTok videos of just.
I can't wait. Just Ohio living.
Yeah, and that's the thing is it's like not even just like Ohio. Like I'm from like the country the unpopulated part of Ohio. It's like the it's like the beginning of like the Appalachian Mountains, and so it's like backs up against like a national forest and whatever. So it's going to be it's a big adjustment, from Los Angeles. But I just can't. I feel like you know what I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play Sweet Home Alabama and Country Roads.
Yes. You know that Ohio's like a big joke right now to kids, right?
I know. I've heard yeah.
Like everything is like, like even Aiden and Sterling and with their friends. At first I thought it was just Aiden and Sterling because it's like a new thing. Like I'm not in with kid jokes, right? But then it was like their friends. And then I'm seeing it on all like the stuff that they're watching. And it's like, it'll be like, oh yeah, you have the Ohio version of this. Or yeah, that's Ohio. Or oh my God, Ohio. Or oh my God, you're so Ohio. Like, and it's just like Ohio jokes. Or it'll be like, oh, play the Ohio version of this. And it's like a joke. Or they have like your mom jokes now where it's like your mom's so dumb she's from Ohio. Like stuff like that.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yes. Yes.
This is an attack on my culture.
Yes, it is. And it's like the whole generation. It's not just my boys. It's not just whatever. It's like not even just where we are. It's like all over YouTube. It's all over their stuff. Like it's,
Oh my God. I know. Ohio is a bit of a joke sometimes. And I think like sometimes in the States, when something really crazy happens on the news, you're like, did that happen in Ohio or Florida? Like, it's just, like, if it's real wild, it's like, was it Ohio or Florida? Like, the news article would be like, prostitute ate bath salts and ate someone's face off. Ohio or Florida? Like, it does just only make sense.
Oh, my God. Where's Kentucky? Is Kentucky wild?
Yeah. Yeah, Kentucky's like kind of like, well, Kentucky borders Ohio. It's like to the southwest of Ohio.
It's basically Ohio. Okay.
Yeah, and then I think like Eastern Kentucky is like real like Appalachia, like country, whatever. And then Western Kentucky is a little more like of the plains, more Midwest, I guess. Or no, it's still south, but like it's up there with Indiana and Ohio. And like Louisville is there, and it's a big city. It's pretty nice.
I just feel like Kentucky's just like in my head. Just like Ohio, Florida, Kentucky.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. What's your low light?
Oh, my low light. Okay, the low light is, girl, the insomnia is getting me. The insomnia is coming for me so hard right now. And I don't know what's going on because I'm like, why am I wide awake at 3 a.m? You know what I mean? Like, I'm out here designing. Like, I'm on my phone. Like, because I have my dream house, like, on an app on my phone. And so, like, I'm sorry, I had to put a new pool in. You know what I mean? We had to put the pull in and design the pool house. And I'm doing this till like 3, 4 in the morning. Like there was one night where it was like 5 in the morning. I'm like, I guess I should go to sleep. And
I've seen her dream house, and it's beautiful, by the way. She sent me the blueprints, and it's stunning.
Yeah. Well, there's been a whole remodel, so I have to update you on that. But it's just like I get so inspired, like artistically, and I'm like up all night, and then I'm a freaking nightmare in the morning. Like Kris this morning, she was like afraid to like text me. She was like, "What did you say?" So you called me like a princess something.
Okay, so Kyle is like a lot of people, they're like, oh my God, I'm not a morning person. But they're like a normal person in the morning. They just feel tired or don't like it. Like Kyle's different in the morning. And I've had to really learn how to navigate this. So normally I would just call her, FaceTime her first thing in the morning on like our podcast days. And like, I would be on one level where I'm like super just like ready to go, like whatever. And she's just like, like dead to the world still. So then we would kind of be like, not like contrasting, but just not 100% jiving because we were on 2 different levels, which is fine. So now what I do is I send her a very sweet message in the morning. So I sent her a message this morning that said, good morning, Miss Beautiful Princess of WeHo. And I didn't call her. I simply texted her 20 minutes after we were supposed to start chatting. So I knew she was like up and had been like refreshed for a bit. And then I just waited. And then I was like, okay, well, I'm going to do my makeup now. So when you want to call. And then she called me, and when she called, she was ready to go. Like, she was up, she was there, she was happy, she was smiling. She was the real princess of WeHo.
The real princess of WeHo. The medication took effect. I was drinking a Celsius. I said, I'm feeling very cutesy. I'm feeling very demure. I'm not feeling like the abominable snowman that I am in the morning, which I actually think is a great analogy. A great analogy. Until I'm awake, I am the abominable snowman.
100%.
Or snow woman.
Like, it's like, she's the grumpiest, I don't know. It's like a cranky toddler. It's like waking up a cranky toddler before they wanted to get up from their nap.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean, but it's also just like my brain doesn't function. Like it's not on. Like it's still in standby. You know what I mean? Like I can't comprehend things.
No, and I support it and I understand it. So that's why I'm trying to navigate it in a way that I'm like, okay, this is conducive. It's helpful, and it's doing something for Kyle.
I love how you. Okay, we're pulling out the serious words. That was a very articulated. Do you have a thesaurus over there?
It's conducive.
It's very conducive.
It's conducive. Okay, so I was reading our situations this week.
Yeah.
And the one that I chose, it hit home for me. Okay.
Oh.
Okay. So it was like, I'm going to read it now.
Okay.
I would never try anything with him, but my friend's dad is so hot. I feel myself blush when he's around. I'm 25, so I feel like I shouldn't have this crush. Okay. So, growing up, everyone had a crush on my dad, like a few of my friends, because, like, looking back at that age, he was really cute.
Yeah.
But then I had a huge crush on my friend's dad. But I was, like, 17, and he wasn't even, like, that hot. There was just something about him that I'm like, oh my God, I'm in love with him, kind of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but I feel like that's different because you're like 17. And like when my friends had crushes on my dad, they were like 14. It was just like, my dad was like hot at the time. But like if you're 25 and you have a crush on your friend's dad, it's like that's a little bit excessive. Like you're right, you should not have that crush. First of all, how old is their dad? And second of all, like what is so appealing to you? Is he just hot? Like I don't. Oh yeah, she said he's hot.
Okay, yeah.
But
this is something that happens. Like that happens. Like I hope you don't go in there and wreck a home. But I also think at 25, like if you want to make a bold decision like that, you can't. Just don't wreck anyone's home. But it'll be real awkward as hell. But it definitely that's something that happens. Like it literally, that is something that happens.
I know, and that's why I'm just like 25, like, and the fact that she did say right away, she was like, I would never try anything with him, but he's so hot. So it's like the temptation may be there.
Yeah, I wonder if that's like. Sorry, I wonder if it's something like hormonal because I definitely have been there.
Right. I think you just need to watch your alcohol when you're at that house. Like I wouldn't have a lot of alcohol. It also depends too. Like, is the dad single? Is he giving you the signs? Like, is there like a flirty thing, or do you just like find him attractive and like have a little crush? Like, I feel like there's different factors that play into how guilty or like how innocent this is.
Yeah, definitely. This is the introduction to like every other porn, though.
Yeah, it's like, damn.
This is the storyline.
This is the massive storyline. I don't know. I think it's a low light. I think that sucks. I think it's kind of one of those things.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a low light. I think, yeah, because I'm sure you're like get awkward around him or whatever too, and that's a weird.
And if you're writing about it, it means that you're thinking about him,
Which means you're gonna do it. Yeah.
Something's coming for your friend's life, and it's a wrecked home.
She'd drive a bulldozer into that home.
Oh my god. Okay, what situation did you pick?
Okay, so the one that I chose is just kind of a simple one, but it's about the relatability of this. So it says, I am absolutely so embarrassing when you are getting like a sandwich and they say, enjoy your sandwich. And you say, you too, as you leave.
Yeah, that sucks. Oh my god, I've done that so many times in different like scenarios. Like
I know.
Oh my god,
I'm the absolute worst at that, and it's always like walk of shame after I do it. I'm like, ugh.
I feel like I do it a lot at the airport, like when you go like through security or check your bags or whatever. They're like, have a safe flight or like have a good flight, and you're like, you too. But it's like they're not coming on the plane; they're staying here. It's so embarrassing.
I know. Definitely a low light.
Oh, definitely a low light. Oh, well, guys, I think that wraps us. This has been a fun episode. Don't forget to follow our social medias. We are blowing up, guys. We're fucking viral. Like, just follow us. Our podcast is almost #1 in the world right now. It's really exciting. So, at Blonde Highlights, follow us, send in your situations, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye.